So if these two are your topmost priorities, this bike is not for you. When I first saw the FZ way back in 2008, my instant reaction was, wow, what a beautiful motorcycle, what a gorgeous motorcycle. It looked like a baby FZ1, and I'll be honest, the thought of putting one of my RD350's engines into it did cross my mind. But don't you worry, RD fans, I did not listen to the devil inside me. I did not butcher a classic. And yes, you can expect to see a video on that legendary motorcycle soon on this channel. Coming back to the Yamaha FZ, see, the OG was a beautiful motorcycle like I said. The version 2 and version 3, I don't want to hurt anyone, but the fact is you would not be using the word beautiful for those motorcycles. Thankfully, now with this one, you can use that word again. In fact, since we are comparing it to the OG, over this period, this has become more muscular. So yes, when you sit on the saddle, it feels like a more substantial motorcycle, it feels like a bigger motorcycle. And I was not expecting this motorcycle, especially a nameplate that has been around for 15 years, to turn as many heads as it did. Maybe it was the color, but then I'm sure people do find the overall design still quite appealing. Now, before I move on to discussing other parameters, I'll just tell you one important thing, okay, and this would be, for all the videos that you'll see on this channel. We would not be reading out brochures, okay, we would not give you redundant information, information that you already have access to. You can go to the manufacturer's website, you can check the specifications. We would not be doing that, okay. And this is not a new motorcycle, this is a facelift. So and there are already a lot of walk around videos and things like that already published, okay. So I would not give you redundant information, stuff that you already know. I will tell you about things which you are perhaps unaware of, something that has not been covered. And of course, since this is a review, we will talk about handling, we will talk about other aspects as well. But I'll try to just make sure that the information is not redundant. I would try to give you something new. So, in fact, I'll start with the difference between handling and maneuverability. All right, most people club them together, or they just talk about the handling, they do not talk about the maneuverability. See, there is a key difference. What does maneuverability mean? Okay, it means how easy or difficult a motorcycle is in maneuvering, through dense traffic, okay, including manually pushing it into a tight parking spot, pulling it out, how easy or difficult that motorcycle is. While handling comprises how it turns in, how quickly it turns in, does it require too much of effort, and once it has turned in, is it stable? It also includes stability in straight line at higher speeds, alright. So these are some of the differences. Now that you know about what maneuverability is and what handling is, how much would I rate this motorcycle in both these parameters? In maneuverability, I would give this a 9 on 10. Now your question naturally would be, why did I deduct 1 mark? The answer is, it has a bigger turning circle, okay. So the steering lock to lock range as compared to the OG FZ, okay, has come down a bit, and that is why the steering circle, okay, or you can say the turning circle or the turning diameter, these are the terms that people normally use and all of them are correct, has come down, okay, and it can catch you off guard, it can catch you by surprise, alright. So for example, if you are pulling it out of a tight parking spot, okay, if it had a bigger lock to lock steering angle, you could have pulled it out in one clean sweep. Sometimes there is a lot of to and fro, I would say effort involved. So yes, that is why. But then, since like I said that it's a light motorcycle, you know, anyone, you would not need to be a bodybuilder, okay, or a person of immense strength to manage this. Anyone would be able to manage this. As far as maneuverability is concerned, this is one of the easiest motorcycles to ride. Handling. See, Yamaha is the manufacturer that makes the most number of amazing handling motorcycles in the world. Okay, you take it any category from 50cc to 1000cc and beyond, their bikes are generally the best in class handlers, and this is no exception. All right, how much will I, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much will I give, you know, to the FZS version 4? 9 on 10. Now again your question would be, where did this motorcycle lose a mark? It actually did not. Okay, it does fantastic for the segment it is in, for the type of bike it is, okay, a naked street fighter. But a 10 on 10 is exclusively reserved for bikes like the Yamaha YZF R15. In fact, that scores an 11 on 10, but that's the story for some other day. Now let's talk about ride quality. I'm happy to report that despite you know, the fine handling, and people would know that the offshoot of fine handling is normally the suspension is quite stiff, all right. Thankfully, the ride quality has not suffered. It is still amazingly pliant on most sections that you would find, okay, of rough roads and no roads. You would be able to gun it through most of them. So if you have back problems and you still want to ride, do take a test ride of this motorcycle and let me know in the comment section how did you find it. Now let's talk about the performance. See, let me state at the very outset that you're not going to win any 0 to 100 drag races on this motorcycle. You're not going to win any top speed battles on this motorcycle, all right. So if these two are your topmost priorities, this bike is not for you, all right. As far as the numbers are concerned, see, 0 to 80, you know, this bike is fairly quick, I would say, or you know, 0 to even 0 to 90 is good enough. But from there on, okay, it takes days to reach 100. I'm talking about true GPS speeds and not the speedos, you know, what the speedo shows. And then it takes another 3 to 4 business days to reach its true top speed of 110 kilometers per hour on the GPS, which translates to about 117, 118 kilometers per hour on the speedo. Like I said, if these two are your priorities, this bike is not for you. However, if you are someone who is happy with a decent 0 to 80 time, okay, and that's what matters in the city, this bike would not disappoint you. More importantly, if you are someone who expects his 150cc motorcycle to be as tractable or even more tractable than a 125cc or a 100cc motorcycle, this bike will not disappoint you, okay. And if you ask me what is tractability, see, in layman terms, a tractable motorcycle is one that does not require too many gear shifts in the city, okay. So yes, a very tractable motorcycle. Third point, if you are someone who expects to tour on his motorcycle and would therefore expect the motorcycle to be relaxed at 90 kilometers per hour or even 100 kilometers per hour. I just told you that it takes a lot of time to reach 100 kph, but once it's there, okay, you would not, there are almost zero vibrations at that speed. Now that is something that cannot be said about most of its competitors, and they produce a lot more power. So the point is, you have a lot more power, okay. If you are not into drag racing or traffic light GPS, if you are someone more sensible, you would eventually expect a motorcycle that produces more power to be even more relaxed at cruising speeds, to be even more vibration free, and that is not true, unfortunately, okay. So yes, kudos to Yamaha to make this motorcycle an almost zero vibration motorcycle in 5th gear at 80 kilometers per hour. There are no vibrations at all, okay. At 90, 100, you just feel you know, I would not even call them vibrations. There is a certain buzz that would not bother you, that will just tell you that you're not riding an electric motorcycle, you're riding a real motorcycle, alright, and you can maintain that for hours at end. I would say that, you know, you can just keep the throttle pinned if of course the law allows you to do that. There are some highways which expressways which have a speed limit of 120 as well, but I would say just cruise at 100. You know, you can do that all day. That brings us to again a very important question, the fuel efficiency. How much is the fuel efficiency? Again, one of the most fuel efficient motorcycles in its segment. How much? You are seeing that number on the screen right now. Now that brings us to almost the end of this review, and I'll just quickly tell you a couple of miscellaneous things that I forgot to tell you about, because you people want to know how is you know, the pillion comfort. See, this is one of the more pillion friendly motorcycles in the segment. Okay, so yes, your better half would be quite comfortable, and yes, I did test that as well. The build quality is fantastic. Okay, in fact, I rode this for what, more than 10 days, and I rode it mercilessly, all right, just to again, you know, you do all those top speed runs and acceleration runs, you maxing it out, and I did take those rough patches at full chat. Nothing rattled, nothing broke, all right. The bike is absolutely vibration free, like I said. You know, if you talk about those rattles, wherein, you know, something comes off loose, nothing of that sort happened on this motorcycle. And the headlight throw was, I was actually pleasantly surprised to see that. I'm not a fan of LED lights, especially on you know, these motorcycles that cost under 10 lakh rupees. I would say all motorcycles, okay, they have pathetic headlights, most of them. This one is not great, but then I was not expecting it to be this good. Okay, the throw, the spread is, you know, I would say that it would not give you a chance to complain. So that brings us finally to the end of the review. I hope you liked it, and if you have any questions that were unanswered in this review, please put them in the comment section below. I will answer each and every one of them, and do hit that like button. And even if you do not have a question, please do leave a comment if you like this video, and do subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.